Okay, this is a short strategic video on dominoes, basic what we call big fives domino or fives domino, where you score in increments of five. I'm gonna assume that you already know how to play the game in a basic way, and we're gonna talk a little bit about strategy. And the best way to do that is to just jump in. We're gonna play now, and we're going to have we have a high-end computer opponent, and I'm going to play against that opponent. Now, when you first start a new game, you're always looking for the highest double. The person with the highest double plays it. In this case, I happen to have it right here. I have what we call big six or double six, and so I have to play that. It's not something that is an option. So I'll go ahead and play that. And immediately, I'm not liking the fact that I have no more sixes down here. He already came down with 6-3, and he scored 15 points, right? So all I can do is play my 3-0. All right. He comes with another 5 points. He's being a little greedy there. All right. I'm going to go ahead and take 5. Now, I understand that in some versions of the game that you must score 10 points in order to start your scoring. You have to get on the board with at least 10. We're going to ignore that rule for right now and just move forward with the tutorial in the standard way. And so I'm going to go ahead and play double blank here and take 5 points. All right, again, Mr. Greedy up there. And so now I'm going to begin to hopefully move forward with my own agenda here and hopefully knock off some of this scoring that he's doing. But it's hurting. I'm hurting right now a little bit. But I will take the domino. Now that's important. The domino is really important, especially when you're playing heads up, that you want to try to keep control of the domino, because even when you're not scoring well and the bones aren't, going as well as you'd like them, they're not falling in your hands right, at least you're controlling the flow of the game, all right? And so I'm going to start with double 5 here because I have another 5. I also could start with double 3 because I have another 3, but why not? 10 points. Get things going. You'll notice that he got off to a pretty good start on me. We're going to see if we can't begin to make up some ground. All right. Let's go ahead and take this 5 points right here. I could have gone differently on that one, but that's all right. It actually paid off. I want to go ahead and, believe it or not, see, this is an example where normally you'd want to get rid of your double 3 there, right? But I got a feeling he doesn't have any 3s because he came over here to this 2. And so I'm going to kind of hope that he doesn't have any 3s, and I'm going to cut off that 4. It didn't work, all right? That's all right. At least we still have a 4 to play. Although it will now be harder to get rid of my double 3, right? Unless something like that happens, all right? So I'm going to send him there. I think he has a 3. Nope, he has to go to the boneyard. He plays blank, blank, and I will keep the domino. That's the key, because I'm getting all of these points rounded up to the nearest 5. So if the pips added up to 24, you take 25. Now here's an interesting hand to get right here, because I have 4 5s. I wish I had a double 5 in addition to those 4 5s, but I don't. I like to lead with doubles when I can, with big dominoes when I can. And in this case, it's really dangerous because if I play 6-6, he may have 6-3, and then I would have to play either my 3-5 or my 6-1. I don't love it. I definitely wouldn't play the 4-4 because I don't have any more 4s. Another way to go is to tempt him, right? Is to play my blank 5. Let him go ahead and take 10 points. All right, he takes 10 points, but then remember it's gonna be double 5. That will be the spinner if he has it. He didn't have it. That's all right. So now, because I have 5-3, I'm going to go ahead and play the 6-6. Because I'm not worried about him scoring 15 on that, although he still scored 10. But at least he didn't score 15. I'll take it. So I'm going to play the 5-1. Ooh, I'm taking some punishment here. Now, I could stop the bleeding by going 15 points here. But again, I'm gonna be patient. I'm gonna be patient and kind of let this thing. It's not going well, but I'm gonna stay in here and keep playing my game. All right. He's really doing damage here. Okay, and so I'm gonna go 6-1 because I know that I'm gonna be able to play my 5 somewhere. So that went terrible. But again, at least I get 5 points for dominoing, and I'm only 25 points behind. All right. So here's a good one. This is a good one. Now, you may be tempted to take 10 points right here. It looks really good. Yes, 10 points, and then I'm moving forward. But notice that I don't have any more fives. And so I don't want to do that to myself. I have a double blank, and I have 1, 2, 3 additional blanks. Definitely go that way. All right. Get rid of your doubles when you can. All right. I could go 10, but nope. All money is not good money. Let's apply some pressure on him. All right, so that's pressure. Now, pressure sends somebody to the boneyard. And that's what you want to do. You want to have them all in here in the boneyard, hanging out, spending unnecessary time pulling bones. Okay, again, that's all right, because now I get rid of not only do I get rid of my double, which can be tough, I score 10, plus if you'll notice I have 2 other blanks. He can't even stop me from going out. So I'll take the 10, all right? He goes 5, 3, I'll take 5, why not, right, over here. And then I'll go ahead and go out here. Now I get paid. I get all of those points rounded to the nearest 5. And you'll notice that the score is changing rapidly. Now, my opponents tend to notice this fairly regularly, how they had a brief lead and then they just find themselves, down by 30, 40, 50 points really, really, really quickly. And it's subtle. It's a very subtle thing. And so I'm going to go ahead and go double 1. And I'm going to go ahead and score 5 more points. Remember, I still have another 1 here, and so I'm happy about that. I can play that. Now, if he has double 2, he'll play it, or 4 like that, and that's okay. Now he's trying to make a little comeback, which I admire. I admire that. Now, I could play 6-2 here, but I don't have any more 2s. It'd be better for me to play 6-5, because at least I have another 5 here, right? And I'm going to go ahead and, because I believe that he's running away from the 5s. And so, again, the boneyard. The boneyard is your friend in that you want your opponent to stay in the boneyard. Okay? You'll notice that the lead is starting to expand a bit. All right? I'll play double 5 this time because I have 2 other 5s. Again, I could come over here and play something else, right? But no, save your 5s. If this is the double, if this is the bone, remember you're going to be able to play on this side and this side. Save these. Instead, go over here. Now, he may score, but he didn't. All right? And so, okay. Now, you say, okay, this is a good one. I don't have a 4, and I have 2 5s. What do you play? Do you play your 5 blank, or do you play your 5-3? I like to save my spinner blank. Whatever the spinner is and the blank is always a good one to save, because even if he does score, you can come back, and this is a good case. You could come back and you could score the same thing there. But again, we're talking a little bit of strategy here. All money is not good money, right? And so I could take 10 here, it wouldn't be a bad play, because down here I have a blank and a 6. It wouldn't be a bad play. But sometimes you got to pass up money in order to really do what you want to do in the long term, which is get your opponent into the boneyard, right? And keep the domino. Now notice he scored 10 points, and I still, even though I made him play some bones that he may or may not want to play, I still get to score 10 points there. All right. Now that hurt a little bit. I didn't love seeing that, but that's okay. We'll come back and because earlier he had to play some bones that he didn't want to play, he ended up in a boneyard again. We'll take 10 here. And okay, he took the domino. That was not okay. I didn't really love that, but it is what it is. We're still up by 40 points going to 250. All right. He's in control now. So now he's calling the shots. I really only have 1 play. Now, I could play any 3. Look how many 3s I have. But that's exactly why I shouldn't play a 3. Instead, let's come over here. Now, that cost me because he had 5, 6. He also could have had double 6 and cost me 15 points. But it's ultimately a good play because I'm turning the tides to go my direction. I'm moving it toward these threes. Okay, let's go ahead and get rid of the double. All right. Now, here's another good one. I could play here and go for 15 points, and I probably will. Let's go ahead and do that. And it puts him in a boneyard. More important than the points is keeping control of things. So now you'll notice that he's running. We already know that he doesn't have any threes, any blanks, or any sixes. And so why not put him back in the boneyard? You have another three right there. You hopefully that he grabs. I wouldn't be bad at him if he grabbed the whole 5 or 6 more dominoes. You got the domino, 215 and 185. It's only because this is a really good domino player that he's even keeping it this close. All right. My opponents don't ever stay in this range. It's basically would be over by now. But the computer, because it's blue, IBM and Watson, he's staying in things fairly decently. Now, this is an interesting hand in that I don't have any doubles. I don't have anything that's too prominent. I don't like this hand. I love to have at least 1 or 2 doubles, but you never want to have 3 or 4 because it's so hard to get rid of doubles. But this is a tough hand to play because you're not controlling anything. You're going to play something, and he's going to have an opportunity to play the double, right? And so I'm going to. I really don't like it, but I'm going to play 1-5. Now he could have 1-0. Oops. See, that's not terrible. At least I have 2 more of those. So immediately I want to stay away from my ones if I can, and I'm going to keep it low in this case. I didn't want to see 2-3. I'm running a little bit again. I'm not giving this away in my body language. In my body language, I'm like, I'm cool, right? I'll take 5. All right. I'll go ahead and keep it low, keep the scoring low. Now he's running a little bit. That's called running when you see him going here. When you see him going to the double, that means he probably doesn't. It doesn't mean he definitely doesn't have a blank or a 3. It means that he probably doesn't have a blank or a 3. All right. Let's go 4-5 right there. All right. And then let's definitely take this, right? We're going to go ahead and take this 15 points, right? Because there's no way that he can stop me from going out because I could either play here or here, right? And so why pass up that 15 points? Notice that I have 220 there. Now 235. And you'll notice that I'll go ahead and end the game right here, right? This is typical of playing against me. Now I won't be playing in this tournament coming up on Thursday. Good thing for you all, but this is how it goes. That's a little bit about strategy.